Weston, Florida, Palm Beach, all those people. And they want to sit there and enjoy the game. And then you had upstairs in the upper deck end zone, they had Luongo's Legion. And what happened is this guy that owned Pizza Time, this incredible Italian restaurant in Coral Springs, whose daughter at the time was dating Roberto Luongo, became the biggest Roberto Luongo fan. I mean, just Italian guy, didn't know hockey rules, hockey etiquette. And he would come with all his buddies and the chefs of the joint, and they would play every save that Luongo would make. They would start chanting Lou and then start playing these drums, and we dubbed them Luongo's Legion. And the super rich fans down below got all over management. I still remember to this day, Michael Euromark was the CEO at the time, and all over management for allowing them to even bring the drums in. And the Panthers finally sheepishly had to go to the future father-in-law of Roberto Luongo and basically ban these drums coming into the arena for their superstar goalie. But he was just a great guy to cover, and especially at the beginning of his career, before he became a superstar, just one of the great people I've ever covered.
If you want to check out Tin Shed's information, it's tinshedmn.com. Also, please follow them on Twitter. Just a good way to stay updated with all they have to offer and our shows. I also want to thank our longest-running sponsor, Twill, in the Edina Galleria, twillmn.com. I got this shirt at Twill. I basically just went on a vacation where I wear their stuff all the time. So super nice stuff, but also really super casual stuff. I'm here with my wife, Stacy. We went to Twill in the Edina Galleria the other day. We saw Scott Dayton, and I bought the nicest sport jacket I've ever owned, the most comfortable pants I've ever owned. They're Brax. A nice pair of loafers that I can wear to the ballpark. I think they're called Tracks. And I bought a bunch of Stenstrom short-sleeve shirts to go with my Stenstrom nice dress shirts. And, I used to wear just disposable clothes. Now when I buy something, I buy it at Twill. I know it's going to last me the rest of my life, and it's going to be comfortable.
And on top of that, it's not just the best stuff you've ever had, but it's really everyday things that you can wear and that will fit all occasions.
Yeah, I've worn the Stenstrom short sleeve shirts every day this week. When I dress up or even just want to look nice at a game or a Lynx game or something, I wear the Stenstrom dress shirts. But really, the Brax pants are the most comfortable I've ever worn. They are more comfortable than jeans. I never thought I'd have anything more comfortable than a broken-in pair of jeans.
And he keeps saying that, Scott, so thank you very much.
Twill in the Edina Galleria, twillmn.com, Twill on Instagram.
It is really amazing that Scott Dayton's been with us almost from day one. It's unbelievable.
Anyway, he loves Minnesota sports. He sponsors the Viking show. He sponsors this show. He loves talking about it. We need to get you to go into Twill because he would love to just help you out.
Thank you.
Did that sound as bad as I think I made it sound?
Yeah. Check your voicemail.
And Brian, whenever you get a chance, come on up and let's give away those tickets. Until Brian comes up, we'll continue here. Were you done with the Robert Luongo stories?
Yes. I'm sure you know me. Other stories will pop in my head as the show's going on.
Stream of unconsciousness?
Yep.
All right. I was out last week.
I just thought of another one. 2004 All-Star Game. This is a bad one. So again, who knew? I mean, 2004 All-Star Game, who knows that, in just a span of a year, I was going to be covering the Wild. It's crazy. But 2004 All-Star Game, which would have been my last All-Star Game for the Sun Sentinel covering the Panthers, Roberto Luongo is in the game. And we do it at everything. Stanley Cup Final, don't hold it against us. Kind of unprofessional, but it's not as unprofessional as baseball writers that do, in the middle of a no-hitter, a pool to see who's going to break up the no-hitter.
Yeah, I never liked those.
Yeah,
listen, baseball writers do that. I'm not going to deny it, but I never really liked that.
But we do a winning goal pool for big events. So during the Winnipeg Minnesota series, I might have been the ringleader for the game-winning goal pool, and you go in and everybody pays $10, and whoever gets the winning goal, whoever has that ticket, gets $360. If it's what's the word I'm looking for? A clinching game, which is not the word I was looking for, but if it's a clinching game, it's $20, $720. So we're at the All-Star game, and I picked it was either Kovalchuk or Ovechkin. I cannot remember. I think it was Kovalchuk, and all I needed was Roberto not to give up one more goal in the period he was in, and I would have won the game-winning goal pool. And he did. right at the end of his period. And we go in the locker room, and David Neal from the Miami Herald told him how pissed I was at him for giving up this goal, and he legitimately was angry at me. And
I think he had a right to be.
Yeah, so that was one of them. But it's funny, when you were in these game-winning goal pools, you always remember who you picked that won you a lot of money. And the 2 times in all my game-winning goal pools that we've done for the Stanley Cup Final, I had clinching games, which would have been in 2002, Detroit, Carolina, Igor Larionov in overtime, double overtime, I believe, and Patrick Hornquist at the end of Game 6 in Nashville a couple years ago for Pittsburgh. In both times, $720 wins. And it was funny. I was sitting with Greg Wyshynski, who at the time Yahoo, but now he's at ESPN. I think he was definitely, because he was talking to ESPN at the time. And he was sitting next to me in the press box that whole time. And I was sarcastically every time Patrick Hornquist got the puck, rooting for him to him. And it was a joke because I was so pissed when I got Hornquist, and I picked him because he was basically playing like 9 minutes a night, not getting any ice time. And so every time he got the puck, I'm like, come on, like that. And it just became a stupid joke the whole game. And then what do you know, with like a minute 20 left, somehow Hornquist winds up on the ice for like his 8th or 9th minute of the game. And Coley, I think Coley wrapped around the right corner of the thing, threw it up to the top, and then next thing you know, a couple things happen later, and Hornquist drives the net and scores the game-winning goal. Next thing I know, I'm sitting there writing a maybe Matt Cullen retirement story, and $720 just lands on my laptop from the guy running the pool that night.
Did you buy a 4th watch with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time Brian comes through, let's get him up here and give away these tickets. I do want to thank our friend John Hedges, who's here tonight. He runs Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com. They will be opening a new shop in downtown St. Paul in the St. Paul Skyway soon. But for now, what you ought to do is go out to the Mall of America. They're taking 20% off their many watches: Seiko, Swiss Army, Boulevard, Casio, basically, whatever Russo wants to buy, he's going to get 20% off, which is quite a deal for him. So go out, see John, say hello to John. John's a great guy. He runs a really cool shop, too, and they have a lot of accessories, a lot of cool stuff. Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at FixologyMN on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
All right, I was out of town for the draft, so just let's catch me up on what you thought of the draft.
Well, first of all, the flight out there was awesome because everybody on the plane was like in hockey. You had the entire Nashville Predators coaching staff and managerial staff. Mike Yeo was out there. I ran into him at the airport, and he was on the flight. And then up front, so the assistant coaches for the Wild had like first-class tickets, and somehow Bruce wasn't given a first-class ticket. So he was a little sour. And Bob Woods, who knows who's his boss, Bob Woods sat in the back, and Bruce took his seat. So it was. So I was seat 1A, of course. Bruce was in 2B. In 3B and 3A was PJ and Paul Fenton. And then Brian Lawton was in 2A too, next to Bruce.
Did Fenton spill anything on you by any chance?
But here's the coolest. No. We're getting along now. So I was actually cool, and I went out. I'll tell that story in a bit, but I got to sit down with PJ Fenton in where was the draft? Vancouver. So, but here's the coolest thing. So this guy sits next to me, and right away I'm looking at him, and I know he's a hockey player, but I can't put my finger on who it is, and I know it's not a prospect. He's a little too old to be a prospect, and so right away, he overhears Bruce and I, the entire flight, me turning around talking to Bruce, blah blah blah, and then and so all of a sudden he goes, "Do you go into the draft?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." I said, "Are you?" And he goes, "Well, not really. I live there." And I said, "What do you do for a living?" And he goes, "I'm a hockey player." And it turned out to be Danton Heinen, the right wing on the Charlie Coyle, Marcus Johansson, Dan Heinen line for the Boston Bruins. So we talked for honestly 3.5 hours. I was like giving him tutorials on how to be a sports writer. I was showing him all the sites you were looking at. I was showing him all his analytics.
When somebody puts their headphones on, that means they don't really want to talk anymore?
Yep. I gave him my charger to use. I mortified him at one point by telling him that Paul Fenton tried to trade for him at some point, or at least was talking to Boston, and so he got a little nervous because he wants to stay there. Actually, you know what's really cool? So he lives in Charlie Coyle's building in downtown Boston, and so this summer renting his place is Ryan Donato. So who was his teammate when they played with the Bruins and Providence Bruins. But here's the funniest thing. So the guy, I mean, he's like a rookie or a second-year player, and I'm like, did you score against the Wild this season? He goes, I don't think so. And he wasn't even playing it off. He honestly couldn't remember. I'm like, God, I'm positive you scored. And so I go on Hockey Reference and I look up the box score, and he scored the winning goal against the Wild in Boston. So I turn around to Bruce. We're like 2 hours in the flight, and Bruce is like half asleep. And I'm like, Bruce! And then he's like, what? He goes, this guy scored the game-winning goal against you against Boston. And Bruce just like takes his headphones off. He goes, I know he did. He goes off the freaking knee and in. It's like even I could have scored that. And I said to Bruce when we got to baggage claim, how the hell did you remember that? Like, I remember almost nothing about that game. He goes, I remember the first crappy goal of a 3-goal first period any day of the week. And it is funny because that was like, if you remember, the Wild we got in there late. They left Montreal. I think they beat the Canadiens in Montreal. Bruce was in a great move. They get to the airport, and they had like a 7-hour delay, like mechanical delay. They landed in Boston at like 5 a.m., and they were just dead. Bruce canceled the morning skate. They were absolutely dead. It was the end of a 4-game trip. It was Toronto, Ottawa as well. And sorry. So, but it was just funny the way Bruce reacted. Like, he just snapped at Denton. Like anybody could have scored that crappy goal. So, would you ask me about the draft?
Well, my takeaway
That's about the flight to the draft. We got 3 more chapters of this.
Brian, let me know whenever you're ready to give those tickets away. My takeaway from that story time with Michael Russo was you can't sleep or avoid conversation if you're sitting anywhere near Michael Russo on a flight.
Yep.
Whose dad is texting?
Nobody.
We'll give away those tickets here. We do want to thank...
It's actually not a Wild player's dad. It's another player's dad of another free agent.
First name?
There you go. Can't say.
Tony Hoaglund, again, is giving away 2 tickets. Still plenty of time to enter. Fishbowl to my left up here. Just write your personal information and 3M on it. We'll give away 2 tickets to the Friday round. And if you don't know Tony by now, Tony runs State Farm Insurance out of Champlin, Minnesota. He's reachable by text, phone, email, through us. You can get a message to him through us. However you want. He's been great to work with. Michael and I both get our insurance through Tony.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number 1 in car insurance since World War II and number 1 in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
All right, so once the plane actually landed, how was the draft?
That was good. So I get to the hotel. First person I see are the Philadelphia Flyers, so I immediately get excited because now I'm going to go just absolutely terrorize Brent Flair. That was fun. And then I just think that was funny.
Inside joke, I guess.
Well, it's just fun. It's like the way they work is that there's multiple hotels, and like each team gets assigned like a hotel. Like usually there's 3 or 4 teams at the same hotel. So I just enjoyed that the Flyers were there, and then my second favorite team, the Vegas Golden Knights, were there. Then I checked out the next morning and changed to the Marriott. So just to be more centrally located in case there was a trade, and I had to stumble back to the hotel in the middle of the night after walking around aimlessly. So. First night I went to, first of all, I went and had, got together with PJ just to get to know each other. He co-ran the draft. Matt Boldy was Michael's
going to take us to the draft in real time, so I hope you guys don't do anything for the next 72 hours. It's going to be a minute-by-minute breakdown here.
So Matt was, somebody that he had a lot of respect for, and I don't think that the Wild ever thought that Boldy would fall to them. And he's somebody that they just absolutely love. And everybody I talked to about about this kid. I know a lot of Wild fans were pissed that they didn't take Caulfield. Everybody I talked to about Boldy says that this guy has a chance to be an absolute star. Craig Button compares him to Mikko Rantanen. There's been lots of things. Just watching him in development camp the first couple of days, he looks like he's a player. I mean, right away, if you don't consider